The new genius who aces every test doesn't actually use his brain to memorize. Oliver and Mason grew suspicious of Orion. He solved complex math in seconds and got perfect scores without taking notes. Plus, he always sat alone, gazing at the red evening sky, certain something was off. The friends tailed him to the library after school. Orion slipped into the astronomy section, once unseen. He peeled back the artificial skin on his hand, revealing a six-fingered, reddish-orange palm. He pressed it against a space encyclopedia. Suddenly, the words and images glowed, seeping through his fingertips into his body like a direct data download. Oliver and Mason froze. A cosmic secret was exposed. Orion was a Martian harvesting human knowledge. He snapped his head toward them, winked one pitch-black eye, slipped his human glove back on, and walked out as if nothing happened. The next morning, Oliver and Mason sprinted to their homeroom teacher's desk. They frantically tried to tell the story about the six-fingered red alien hand, hit the like button to cheer them on, but the teacher just burst into laughter and shook his head. He pointed to the back of the room where Orion was sitting innocently folding paper with his flawlessly disguised human hands. Orion flashed them a smile just like an ordinary elementary school kid. And so, the Martian secret remained perfectly safe. Escaping zombies in a blocky world was actually just the result of pulling an all-nighter playing video games. Cody and Liam sat staring at the TV screen in the basement. Both were frantically mashing their controllers, intensely building a castle in the massive hit game. Suddenly, the screen flashed brightly. Before they knew it, the two best friends tumbled into the screen, landing with a thud on cube-shaped grass. Everything around them, from the trees and the clouds to the sun in the sky, was made entirely of square blocks. Green pixelated zombies waddled toward them. Cody tried to turn and run, but his legs felt unbelievably heavy. Liam tried to punch the dirt with his bare hands to dig a hideout, but it didn't work. The zombies reached out, their arms closing in until both boys. Suddenly, the entire world shook violently. Cody and Liam jolted awake at the exact same time on the soft sofa. It turned out there was no dimensional travel at all. They had simply played until they were totally exhausted and fell asleep, dreaming up the entire crazy adventure. Romeo and Juliet were students who lived right across from each other. Their families had been sworn enemies for a long time over fighting for street parking spaces. The two were strictly forbidden from going near each other, but they always secretly planned to go play together at the empty lot at the end of the neighborhood. On a Friday evening, Romeo and Juliet pretended to be horribly sick to fool their parents. When the coast was clear, they both sneaked out through their bedroom windows and ran to their meeting spot behind the bushes. The two cheerfully rode their bikes side by side to the skate park. Hit the like button for Romeo and Juliet's meetup. However, when they arrived at the skate park, the sight they saw was Romeo's older brother and Juliet's older brother, who always scowled at each other when at home, sitting there laughing and sharing the exact same pizza. They were even showing off skateboard tricks together like best friends. It turned out the feud between the two families was just an adult thing. As for the kids, they just played along and pretended to hate each other, so they could have an excuse to sneak out and hang out together in peace. Oh no, the Oscar is missing. On a Monday morning, Ethan discovered that the glass display case in the front hall had been left open. The famous alumnus's Oscar award on display had completely vanished. Ethan immediately grabbed his magnifying glass to look for clues. He found a long trail of coffee drips leading down the hallway lined with lockers. The little detective carefully sneaked along the mysterious coffee trail. The drips turned toward the teacher's lounge at the end of the hall. Ethan braced himself to face an international art thief. He slowly pushed open the ajar door, only to see Principal Miller looking totally stressed out under a ceiling fan blasting at full speed, causing a pile of exam papers to flutter wildly. And right in the middle of the desk, the famous golden Oscar statuette stood tall and proud, serving as an emergency paperweight to keep the kids' exams from flying out the window. It turned out the principal had simply grabbed the heaviest, closest object to solve his immediate problem. Who will win the chili eating contest? During lunch break in the cafeteria, Carter and Jake sat face to face. In the middle of the table sat a clear plastic container filled with bright red, terrifyingly twisted chilies. Both were fully prepared, keeping large cartons of plain milk right by their sides to put out the fire in their mouths. At the starting signal, the two best friends each grabbed a pepper and tossed it into their mouths at the exact same time. They squeezed their eyes shut, clenched their fists, and braced themselves for the burning explosion in their throats. But 10 seconds passed, and there was no fiery heat at all. Their faces, flushed red from holding their breath, slowly relaxed. Carter tried chewing the pepper in his mouth. Instead, a sweet, crisp, and juicy flavor spread across his tongue. It turned out Carter's mom had caught onto their mischievous plan that morning. She had sneakily swapped the deadly hot chilies with mini red sweet peppers that looked exactly identical, placing them in the box instead. The thrilling test of endurance ended with 2 elementary school kids confusedly chewing sweet peppers in front of their friends. Secret dinosaur in a tumbler. During recess, Tyler and Jackson sat showing off their giant, sticker-covered insulated tumblers, the biggest trend at school right now. Jackson was super proud of his neon cup, but Tyler didn't seem impressed. Then, Jackson noticed something weird. Tyler's cup didn't have a straw. Instead, there was a soft splashing sound coming from inside. Curious, Jackson reached over and popped the lid open. Suddenly, freezing cold water splashed out, along with the head of a tiny, long-necked creature with slippery blue scales. It was a plesiosaur, a real, live, palm-sized water dinosaur. It poked its head up and then quickly dove back down to hide under the ice cubes. Tyler quickly snapped the lid shut with a smirk on his face. It turned out he didn't buy the giant cup just to follow the trend. He bought it to use as a portable pool to hide his prehistoric pet, which he had just hatched from a strange stone egg in his backyard.